It was during his first few months in Lagos that Ikechukwu met Adora. She was beautiful, with a shiny, glamorous appearance that immediately caught his attention. She came from a wealthy family, and her lifestyle was extravagant. From the moment they met, Adora captivated Ikechukwu. She was everything that he wasn't: spoiled, carefree, and accustomed to the finer things in life. At first, Ikechukwu tried to resist Adora's charms. He knew the kind of woman she was, and he reminded himself of his mother's words, urging him to stay focused and avoid distractions. But the more time he spent with her, the more he found himself drawn to her deeply. Adora had expensive tastes. She loved fine dining, luxury shopping, and weekend getaways. Ikechukwu, eager to impress her, began spending large amounts of money to keep up with her lifestyle. He bought her expensive presents, paid for her lavish outings, and even began neglecting his own needs just to satisfy her. His promise to his mother faded into the background as his focus shifted to Adora. The money he had once planned to send home for the home renovation now went towards maintaining his relationship with her. His mother, unaware of the changes in her son's life, continued to call him regularly, asking when he would begin the renovation and how he was adjusting to his new job. But Ikechukwu's responses became more distant. He started telling his mother that he didn't have enough money at the moment and that the renovation would have to wait. Amaka, though disappointed, never stopped praying for her son, believing that God would provide for them in due time. As the months passed, Ikechukwu's priorities shifted entirely. He sent less and less money home to his mother for her upkeep, always coming up with excuses about his financial situation. His mother began to worry, sensing that something was wrong, but she didn't want to burden him with her concerns. Amaka's heart grew heavy with each passing day. The son she had once known seemed to be slipping away from her. The phone calls that were once filled with joy and laughter became brief and strained. Ikechukwu no longer spoke of the house renovations or his plans to visit the village. Instead, he was distant, often distracted when she called. She tried to push the worry aside, telling herself that Ikechukwu was simply busy with his new job. But deep down, Amaka knew that something had changed. She decided to take matters into her own hands. One afternoon, without telling Ikechukwu, she packed her bags and made the journey to Lagos. It was such a long trip, but Amaka's determination outweighed her discomfort. She needed to see her son and find out what was happening in his life. When she arrived at Ikechukwu's apartment, she knocked on the door, her heart pounding in her chest. Something was definitely wrong. When the door swung open, Amaka was greeted not by her son, but by Adora. The woman standing before her was as glamorous as she had imagined. But there was an air of arrogance about her. Adora looked up at Amaka and looked down with thinly veiled disdain. "Who are you?" Adora asked, her tone dismissive. "I'm Ikechukwu's mother," Amaka replied, her voice steady. "I have come to see my son." Adora smirked. "Oh, the village mother," she said under her breath, stepping aside to let Amaka enter. Amaka's heart sank as she took in the lavish apartments. It was clear that her son was living a life of luxury, but something felt off. Where was Ikechukwu? And why had he stopped supporting her when he was clearly doing well? Over the next few days, Amaka stayed with her son, hoping to rekindle their bond. But Adora made it clear that she didn't welcome her presence. She treated Amaka with coldness and disrespect, often making snide comments and remarks about her simple clothes and village upbringing. Ikechukwu, blinded by his love for Adora, ignored the tension in the house, so wrapped up in pleasing his girlfriend to notice the growing rift between his mother and his girlfriend. The breaking point came one afternoon when Adora, frustrated by Amaka's presence, pushed her down the stairs in a fit of anger. Amaka fell hard, breaking her leg in the process. Ikechukwu returned home to find his mother in pain, lying on the floor, with Adora standing nearby, offering no help. In that moment, something inside Ikechukwu snapped. He realized he had become a man who had abandoned the woman who had given him everything, all for the sake of a woman who did not respect him or his family. The guilt that washed over Ikechukwu was unbearable. As he helped his mother into the car to take her to the hospital, he could barely look at her in the eyes. For the first time in months, he saw the disappointment and pain in her face. How had he let things get so far? At the hospital, as his mother lay in the bed, recovering, Ikechukwu made a decision. He was done with Adora. He had been blinded by her beauty and glamour, but it had cost him the most important relationship in his life. He broke up with her that evening, ending their relationship for good. Over the next few weeks, Ikechukwu dedicated himself to repairing the damage he had caused. He spent every day by his mother's side, nursing her back to health and apologizing for his neglect. Amaka, ever the forgiving mother, embraced her son, knowing that he had learned a valuable lesson. When Amaka was finally well enough to return to the village, Ikechukwu made sure she didn't go back to the same old house. With his new focus and determination, he used his earnings to renovate their home, making it the beautiful house they had always dreamed of. And more importantly, he renewed his promise to his mother, vowing never to lose sight of what truly mattered again. In the end, Ikechukwu learned that true success wasn't measured by wealth or status, but by the relationships we hold dear. His journey had been long and filled with lots of mistakes, but he had found his way back to the most important thing in his life: his mother.